Namaskaram. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. A reminder to kindly keep your mobile phones in the silent mode. On behalf of the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, Government of India, and the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India, and the host state of Telangana, I, Rini Simon Khanna, and my colleague, Shami Narang, welcome you to the 21st National Conference on E-Governance.
नमस्कारम, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल। भारत सरकार राज्य सरकारों के साथ मिलकर 1997 से यह कॉन्फ्रेंस करती आ रही है। पिछले साल जनवरी में इसका आयोजन आंध्र प्रदेश के विशाखापट्टनम में हुआ था। इस बार आप ही के राज्य तेलंगाना के हैदराबाद शहर में आकर हमें बेहद खुशी हो रही है।
It is heartening, ladies and gentlemen, that the government of Telangana is proactively engaging in adopting digital governance, and you can see ample evidence of this around you over the next 2 days. Many of you may have already downloaded the conference app from Google Play Store on your smartphones and can experience the proceedings real time. We're also webcasting the proceedings of the conference live for those who will join us online. As you're all aware, e-governance plays a key role in our journey to achieving the goal of minimum government, maximum governance. It has helped the government to enhance the coverage, increase transparency, improve the response to citizens, and lower costs, and on the other hand, has helped citizens to get better access, equity, and social empowerment.
देवी और सज्जनों, 2 दिनों तक चलने वाली इस कॉन्फ्रेंस का थीम है टेक्नोलॉजी द्वारा विकास को गतिशील बनाना, यानी टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर एक्सेलरेटिंग डेवलपमेंट। इसलिए 5 लंबे सेशंस के दौरान हिस्सा लेने वाले चुने हुए थीम्स और सब थीम्स पर हम लोग बात करेंगे और उन्हें समझने की कोशिश करेंगे। दूसरे दिन ई गवर्नेंस के इनिशिएटिव को लागू करने में बेहतरीन काम करने वालों को 2018 के लिए 8 कैटेगरीज में नेशनल ई गवर्नेंस अवार्ड से नवाजा जाएगा।
The 2-day meet will also serve as a forum to showcase best practices, innovative technologies, and ICT solutions. We should also share with you that just outside the hall there is an exhibition that was inaugurated just a few minutes ago, showcasing the various initiatives of the states and the center of the best practices and the award-winning initiatives. The Hall of Fame has 6 innovative initiatives that are paradigm shifters for citizen-centric deliveries displayed. We also have participation from 7 states and several government departments and agencies. Do make time to visit the stalls and learn more about them between today and tomorrow.
मौजूद हाज़रीन, इससे पहले हम अपने इन मौजूद मेहमानों को जो मंच पर विराजमान हैं, इन गणमान्य अतिथियों को सुने, हम चाहेंगे कि एक ख़ास एडिनियम का पौधा भेंट करके इनका अभिवादन करें, इनका खैर मकदम करें, इनका इस्तकबाल करें। और एडिनियम के पौधे के बारे में बताना चाहूँगा, ये ख़ास किस्म का पौधा होता है जिसकी खुराक महज धूप होती है, जो हवा में से नमी को चुराकर अपना पालन पोषण करता है। और अब इनके अभिवादन के, इनके परिचय की जिम्मेदारी मैं दे रहा हूं अपनी सहयोगी रिन्नी को।
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again. We would like to now welcome all our special guests on the dais, and to do so, we'd like to present them each with a stole and a bonsai of the evergreen succulent shrub, the adenium plant, also called the desert rose. This has been specially chosen for the ease with which it can be grown, as it needs very little water and a lot of sunlight and can survive in hot conditions. So, as we greet our guests, we would request you to please put your hands together and welcome each of them. I'd like to request the Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Mr. Epan, to please specially welcome our first guest, the President of the session, the Hon'ble Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Mr. C.R. Chaudhary, and to do so with the stole and the adenium plant.
आगे जाओ।
We're pleased to welcome into our midst our chief guest from Telangana, the Honorable Minister for IT, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Industries and Commerce, Public Enterprises, Sugar Mines and Geology and NRI Affairs, Mr. Kalvakuntala Taraka Rama Rao. We'd like to also welcome the Chief Secretary of Telangana, Mr. Shailendra Kumar Joshi, and may I request Mr. Eapen to please do us the honors. The Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Mr. Ajay Prakash Thani. The CEO of UIDAI and the Chairman GSTN, Mr. Ajay Bhushan Pandey. Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to now request the Chief Secretary of Telangana, Mr. Shailendra Kumar Joshi, to please welcome Mr. Eapen, the Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. And also Mrs. Vasudha Mishra, the Additional Secretary in the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances.
थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन। और हम एक बहुत ही अहम औपचारिकता के लिए, एक बहुत ही ऑस्पिशियस फॉर्मेलिटी के लिए अपने मेहमान खुसूसी, अपने चीफ गेस्ट जनाब KTR राव साहब से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि अपने दस्ते मुबारक से, अपने मुबारक हाथों से इस दीप को प्रज्वलित करें और आज के इस कार्यक्रम का शुभारंभ करें। जनाब KTS राव साहब।
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते
Thank you very much. I'd like to now request the Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Mr. K.V. Eapen, to please make the opening address.
President of the session, Shri C.R. Chaudhary, Honorable Union Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Commerce and Industry, Chief Guest, Shri Kalvakuntala Taraka Rama Rao, Honorable Minister for IT, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Industries and Commerce, Mines and Geology, Public Enterprises, and URI Affairs, Government of Telangana. My dear friends and fellow travelers in the bureaucracy from 1984 onwards, namely Shri Ajay Prakash Sani, Secretary of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Shri Ajay Bhushan Pandey, who is the Chief Executive of UIDAI and Chairman of the GSTN, and Shri Shailendra Kumar Joshi, the Chief Secretary of the host state of Telangana, distinguished panelists in the plenary session, awardees of the National E-Governance Awards of this year and last year, colleagues from the Government of India and the states, and other distinguished delegates. It is my privilege to welcome each and every one of you to the 21st National Conference on E-Governance, which the Telangana government has so graciously consented to host. Every year since 1997, the DARPG, which is my department, and the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MITI, have co-organized the national conference in partnership with the state government. Hyderabad has been the host city on numerous occasions, including on the first two occasions in 1997 and 1998. Over the years, this conference has provided a platform to policymakers, practitioners, and industry leaders to interact, present their views, analyze various solutions, and recommend actionable strategies for good governance, and to improve the standard and efficacy of citizen-centric services. As you are all aware, the broad theme of this year's conference is Technology for Accelerating Development. This is a strong focus for the Government of India. At the central government level, the Honorable Prime Minister has committed to co-creating the new India in partnership with all the states and other stakeholders by Sankalp Se Siddhi. We are determined to achieve the digital dividend for each and every citizen at the earliest, and to achieve the full potential of the demographic dividend through digital literacy and accessibility to all. Accordingly, we have chosen 5 sub-themes on which eminent panelists will deliberate in the plenary sessions. We would also be discussing ways of synergizing the roles of the national and state governments. One of the issues that we face when we talk about our prowess in the IT sector in India is the fact, and we cannot ignore this actual fact, that large parts of the country and large population of the country is outside the digital dividend. Bridging the digital divide is an important issue because that has a direct attack on all the major problems of poverty, malnutrition, and other issues that the country faces. If we bridge this digital divide, obviously the effects of e-governance would be much more keenly felt, and that indeed leads to governance, much better governance across the country. Thus, when we give these awards, we are recognizing the initiatives that have been taken in the space of improving governance as a whole. This year, we are giving 19 awards in 8 categories for the National E-Governance Awards. There was very strong competition in several categories, and we were delighted to get many projects which are worth replicating and universalizing all over the country in the field of health, education, and so on. But the most interesting part of this process was that there were awards also in not so usual areas, such as the improvement of the excise administration in West Bengal and the move to a paperless Vidhan Sauda in Himachal Pradesh. I congratulate all the awardees and hope that they will continue to work with the same zeal in the coming years. This year, the exhibition has also drawn a large number of participants. We have, for the first time, put up a Hall of Fame where we are showcasing governance initiatives which have sustained and developed over time, and those which have a potential for paradigm shift in the way citizens access market services. As you can see in the exhibition, there are platforms of Aadhaar, GSTN and GEM, or Government e-Marketplace, the Hawkeye for quick reach of law and order and citizen participation, Me Seva, and so on and so forth. The ENAM of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare is revolutionizing the opportunities for farmers for online marketing of their agriculture produce. Other award-winning initiatives from various ministries and departments of Government of India and state governments are also being displayed. And I compliment the Government of Telangana for making excellent arrangements for the exhibition. I would like to make 3 points. Through these awards, first of all, we get a glimpse of the islands of excellence around us, but we need to replicate many of them in other areas. As a nation, it is our duty to think of universalization of such initiatives. The platform of Aadhaar would be a game changer, in my view, in the way we can do it. It can be used for by various government and private organizations without the need for duplication of efforts at their level. And I look forward to hearing aspects of this from my batchmate, Shri Ajay Bhushan Pandey, later. Second, e-governance is fairly well understood and a widespread concept, but we are still struggling with one major issue, which is standardizing the delivery across various geographical entities and levels of government. There are issues of requirement of constant upgradation of skills of employees, standardization process, and so on and so forth. And we have to cut the unnecessary red tape and devise systems which talk to each other and are user-friendly. Finally, there is the issue of emerging technologies. While the industry would advise us on what is happening and what is available for adoption today and near future, they and us have to work together to see how these technologies help us in enhancing the experience of users who are mostly our citizens, instead of just assisting service providers and governments in their monitoring mechanism. When we joined the service in 1984, if you recall, Apple had just introduced Macintosh into the market as a PC. At this time, when we are nearing the end of our service career, we are talking about artificial intelligence and humanoids. Hence, there are a lot of issues that need to be tackled by the government, and this is another area we hope is explored in this conference. I once again congratulate my dear friend, the Chief Secretary of Telangana, Shailendra Kumar Joshi, for his able leadership in hosting the national conference at Hyderabad. I thank Srimati Shalini Mishra, Principal Secretary, GPMAR Department, and her entire team for the tireless and outstanding efforts in organizing and tying up the minutest details. I look forward to a very fruitful and intellectually enriching 2 days at the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eepan Sahab. और अब मैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स एंड इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी के सचिव सेक्रेटरी जनाब अजय प्रकाश साहनी साहब से गुजारिश करूंगा कि वो यहाँ पर आएं और आपसे रूबरू हों, अपने विचार प्रकट करें।
Honorable Union Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Commerce and Industry, Shri C.R. Chaudhary ji, Honorable Minister of Information Technology, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Industries and Commerce, Mines and Geology, Public Enterprises and NRI Affairs, Government of Telangana, Shri KT Rama Rao garu, my colleague Shri K.V. Ipan, Shri Shailendra Joshi, Chief Secretary, Shri Ajay Bhushan Pandey, CEO UID and also Chairman of GST Network, Srimati Vasudha Mishra, friends and colleagues from various state governments who include some of the stalwarts and some of the biggest achievers in the area of e-governance and IT, friends from various states, from implementing agencies, from the consultants, press and media. It's great to be here. A very, very good morning. It's great to be here. It is a homecoming every time the National Conference on E-Governance comes back to Hyderabad. It is a homecoming. I am fortunate that I was present and a part of the very first two conferences that were organized in Hyderabad. And today when we come back and bring the conference back to Hyderabad, it gives tremendous satisfaction. There is a sense of pride. And in many ways, it is a way to recharge our batteries. It's inspiring to be back. It's inspiring to see not just the tremendous infrastructure, the airport, the outer ring road, the HICC, but also tremendous strides that have been made in implementing e-governance in Hyderabad, in Telangana, in Andhra Pradesh, and also in the rest of the country. I think over these years, from 97, 21 years, we have made very significant strides. We have a significant part of the core infrastructure in place across the country. We have networks, we have the National Knowledge Network, we have a Bharat Broadband which is coming up rapidly. We have tremendous penetration of access to internet. We have state data centers, we have state wide area networks. We have a huge foundation in terms of the UID database. We have tremendous coverage now of the bank accounts and financial side. We have also built a good layer of services which are being delivered by a large number of e-governance projects, central projects, state projects, municipal projects, panchayat projects. I think almost everywhere we have a layer. There is no sector in which we don't have an implementation. In some sectors, the implementation has been able to reach a nationwide footprint. In other sectors, we have successes here and there. We have made progress on empowerment, with digital literacy catching on. People in any case are able to use their mobile phones for a large number of things. The common service centers, the e-Seva, me-Seva centers, the e-Mitra centers, and many others like them have created a mechanism which can take delivery of services close to where the people are. We also have good institutional capacity across many states. And finally, I think we have some excellent models that are emerging from just the standalone projects which were concentrating on services to be delivered from government departments to the citizens. I think we are moving towards platforms. We are moving towards platforms where a large amount of data can flow from the government, even from the private sector, from banking sector, and which create room not just for government departments, but also for other service providers and service seekers to come together. I think we have to learn from what is happening across the world. It is no longer simple websites or portals. It is platforms that enable widespread participation, which are the way ahead. We have had success in constructing these platforms. Some of the early examples are UID, on which an India stack has come up, and on which a number of other sectoral stacks can actually be built. We have the GST network, humongous amount of data. And Ajay Bhushan Pandeyji always on around 20th of the month, 19th of the month, when maximum pressure is there for filing, he has some trepidation. But it's a huge platform, and going forward, it will give us a base for not just taxation, for all kinds of analysis and all kinds of new and innovative services. We have the UPI, the Unified Payment Interface, which very recently, in the last 5 to 6 months, is showing an exponential breakout. From just 5 lakh transactions per day in the month of August, it doubled to 25 lakhs in September, in 10 lakhs in September, 25 lakhs in October, 57 lakhs in November, 92 lakhs in December, 97 lakhs in January. And now the average for the month of January, from 5 lakh transactions a day, we had done 49 lakh, 50 lakh transactions a day, roughly 50 lakh transactions a day in January. This is a breakout. This is an exponential that we are seeing. This gives us a base to build financial services. This gives us a base to build flow-based credit. We have seen the remarkable growth of GEM platform. Again, it is not a service being delivered by the government to the people. It is a platform where the governments bring in aggregation of buying, and people who can provide goods and services from across the country can easily, very conveniently get registered and suddenly they have access to a huge market. All of this is enabled by the technologies that we have built. We have a long, long way to go. There are a few services which are now available to almost everyone across the country. But there are still a large number of sectors and a large number of services where, though we have successes, definitely we have a success somewhere in the country, but these services have not reached each and every person in the country. The services are of different quality. Access is patchy. the competition and competition which brings continuous improvement of the services is patchy. Measures for quality of service are in place only in a few areas. They are not in place in many of the services. And there is still a long path to traverse. Services relating to land records, dematerialization of land records, convenience in accessing those services. In many areas, we have developed successes in silos. In most of the geographical areas, land records is computerized, registration is computerized, survey is somewhat on computers, but they have not been combined. In agriculture, we have a huge soil health card program. We have ENAM, which brings the market, access to market for farmers. We have separate implementation for fertilizers. We have separate implementation for procurement of the agricultural produce. We have a separate implementation for irrigation and availability of water resources. We need to break these barriers, bring them onto platforms where all of these can break the barriers. We can connect these databases. We can build systems where not only the governments, because central governments, state governments, local governments need to come together. But not only the governments, but many, many other service providers should be able to conveniently join the platforms and innovate with what kind of services can be provided. A key aspect, which is that of data privacy, I think is extremely important. We are constructing a data protection framework which will help us to reconcile the concerns on privacy, put an individual in charge, in control of his or her data, and yet make the data available in such a way that all kinds of services can be provided by the providers. I think these are some of the thoughts that I have moving forward. We are working on the roadmap for a $1 trillion digital economy. We are working on the Digital India 2.0 as to what it needs to be. And I would welcome thoughts and suggestions that help us create successors to Digital India, which are worthy and which are worthy of being the new aspirations for India in 2018. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sani. May I now request the Chief Secretary of Telangana, Mr. Shailendra Kumar Joshi, to please address the august assembly. May I request all of you to kindly keep your mobile phones in the silent mode? Thank you.
President of Function, Shri C.R. Chaudhary Garu, Hon'ble Minister of State of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution and Commerce and Industry, Government of India. Iwala Chief Guest ga vachinattu Shri KT Rama Rao, Hon'ble Minister of IT, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Industries, Commerce, Public Enterprises, Sugar, Mines and Geology, NRI Affairs, Government of Telangana. My dear friend Shri K.B. Pan, Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Another friend, Shri Ajay Prakash Sahni, Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And today's keynote speaker, Shri Ajay Bhushan Pandey, CEO, UIDAI and Chairman, DSTN, Vasudha Mishra, my distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of the government of Telangana and on my personal behalf, we are honored to jointly host the 21st National Conference on e-governance in this historic city of Hyderabad. Some of you must be coming for the first time. This vibrant city, carrying a rich legacy of over 400 years, showcases Indian ethos of culture of inclusiveness on the one hand, on the other hand displays prowess of the country in information and other frontier technologies. This qualifies Telangana state in general and Hyderabad city in particular to be the pioneer in taking several measures using information and communication technology for good governance. Technology per se is important, but it's just a tool. It indeed is happening in our state. As we understand, a galaxy of experts are participating in this 21st National Conference on e-governance. They are going to discuss in subsequent sessions today and tomorrow several aspects of e-governance in the country. This conference also provides a platform to domain experts and information technology experts to come together, leading to cross-fertilization of ideas which Ajay mentioned in quite detail. One of the goals of this conference is to move forward by building user experiences and analyzing the issues involved in universalization and replication of successful models and practices in the country. As one of the key organizers of this conference, we look forward to meaningful deliberations and implementable recommendations in a given time frame. As e-governance is a tool for providing good governance, ultimate aim is to provide good governance, leading to increased accountability, transparency and efficiency in service delivery. The Union as well as several state governments, local bodies and other organizations in the country are moving in that direction. I am happy to share that Telangana is at the forefront, marrying innovative ideas, as our Honorable Minister will share short while from now, with indigenous technologies to find solutions for good governance. This is a continuous journey and each step matters. Among various other things, three most important aspects responsible for good governance are individuals, institutions, and processes. I repeat, individuals, institutions, and processes. Individuals build institutions and implement processes, those lead to outcomes. Withdrawing human intervention and codifying the processes make the system more objective. In this scheme of things, use of ICT technologies is a game changer for providing citizen-centric services and ease of doing business. The success of e-governance in Telangana can be attributed to dynamic leadership, presence of strong institutions, and well-defined processes to execute the vision of good governance in the state. In a federal democracy, competition is tough. Each state competes with other states. When various players are at it with frantic pace, governing e-governance itself is an issue and becomes much more relevant. As mentioned by Ajay, a lot of work needs to be done in this direction at various levels. I am also confident that deliberations on this subject in the conference will bring us closer to an overarching national framework that is in harmony with international rules and regulations. It is often said the wheel had been invented long back. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. However, various agencies continue to devote much of their time and resources in developing applications which are easily available and accessible elsewhere. And all that needed is in case only customization. There is therefore urgent need for collecting, collating, and disseminating e-government best practices. I am sure this will also lead to broad agreement or some sort of understanding on standing operating procedures to be followed for e-governance. There is a visible universal trend in moving away from individual applications to follow a system-wide approach. And it is felt need, while private sector is way ahead in adopting enterprise software to manage their operations, there is no significant development to usher in integrating various governmental operations. Again, this point has been highlighted by previous speakers. This needs to be tackled on priority basis. Enterprise-wide solutions offer a cost-effective method for good governance. Emerging technologies such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, cloud computing need to be increasingly used for good governance. Several measures had been taken in the country and many others are in the pipeline. Most notable among them are initiatives by the Universal Identification Authority of India, so I will not come in the way before you listen to Ajay Bhushan. Aadhaar-based service delivery can change the way governance is understood and done in the country. As my concluding remarks, I want to reiterate that e-governance is not an end by itself, but should be a mean to achieve good governance. I wish all the best for the success of this national conference. Thanks for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
शुक्रिया जनाब जोशी साहब। अब मैं कीनोट एड्रेस यानी आज के विषय पर रोशनी डालने के लिए माइक संभालने की दावत दे रहा हूं UIDAI के चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर और GSTM के चेयरमैन माननीय श्री अजय भूषण पांडे जी को।
Honorable Minister of State of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Shri C.R. Chaudhary, Honorable Minister of IT, Municipal Administration, Urban Development, Industries and Commerce, Public Enterprises, Sugar, Mines and Geology, NRI Affairs, Government of Telangana, Shri KT Rama Rao, Shri Shailendra Joshi, Chief Secretary, State of Telangana, Shri K.V. Eapan, Secretary, Administrative Reforms, Shri Ajay Prakash Sahni, Secretary, Ministry of Information and Technology, and Srimati Vasudha Misra, Additional Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms. Distinguished audience, it is my indeed privilege to be here and talk about a great transformation that our country is currently undergoing, that is Aadhaar. Let me give you a little bit of background. Imagine you are traveling abroad and all of a sudden you find that you have lost your passport and also your wallet, which had all your IDs, driver license, credit card, debit card. Isn't that a nightmare we all dread when we travel abroad? What would you do in such case? Won't you feel absolutely miserable and helpless? That was the problem which most Indians used to face every day. Till recently, 60% of our population, 80 crore, did not have a credible identity. Lots of people used to think that they have some ID. But what kind of ID we are talking about? Let's say somebody had a ration card of Hyderabad. Could he go and open a bank account in Delhi? Or could he get any service in Delhi? So he was identityless in his own country, even though he had some kind of an identity document. So there was absolutely the problem of identity that was bothering us and the whole country. If a person wanted to avail a service, say open a bank account, apply for a ration card, voter ID, apply for a loan for his agriculture or his small business, or apply for a job, or apply for any service, public or private, he would be confronted with a famous and perennially existential question, who you are. And if he did not have any ID, it was virtually impossible for him to prove who he was, and then the services will be denied. So that was the state of affairs till few years back. In this backdrop, in September 2000, a massive technologically advanced identity program, then called UID, program of a scale unprecedented in the history of humankind, was launched from a tribal village in Maharashtra. The identity program was later rebranded as Aadhaar, which meant foundation. It envisaged giving identity to 1.2 billion Indians based on minimal demographic data, that is name, date of birth, age, gender, and biometrics, which included all 10 fingerprints, both iris and photograph. In the last 7 years, more than 1.2 billion people have been given Aadhaar, covering 99% of the adults in India. Since Aadhaar is based on deduplication of biometrics, duplicate ghosts and fakes, which used to creep in most ID programs earlier, is almost impossible here. Imagine the technological complexity of this deduplication task. Biometrics, 10 fingerprints and 2 iris of every newly enrolled person are matched with the biometrics of everyone in the database before an Aadhaar number is given. At one point, we used to enroll 2 million people every day, and their biometrics used to be matched against the biometrics of 1 billion people, and this task had to be completed in 24 hours, otherwise we had a very backlog. A state-of-art technological back-end processing engine has been developed in-house within our country, and which we all should be very, very proud of, to finish this compute-intensive task within 24 hours. Computer scientists who are present here can imagine the compute complexity of these tasks. 2 million multiplied by 10 fingerprints, 2 iris, multiplied by 1 billion, and again 12, bank account in a paperless manner. More than 15 crore bank accounts have been opened in this manner. Existing bank accounts are being linked with Aadhaar so that the people, particularly in the rural areas, can also do banking transactions at their doorsteps through Aadhaar-based micro ATM operated by more than 100,000 business correspondents. So far, more than 57 crore Aadhaars have been uniquely linked to bank accounts. Aadhaar-linked bank accounts enable benefits to be directly transferred to the resident so that he can withdraw cash from micro ATM touch points using his fingerprints and Aadhaar number. PMLA rules have been amended to link every bank account with Aadhaar. Income Tax Act has been amended to require linking of every PAN card with and filing of income tax returns with Aadhaar. These steps will go a long way in curbing frauds, money laundering, black money, and tax evasion in our country. Aadhaar established itself as a godsend for crisis management during the floods in Tamil Nadu a few years ago, where the people whose documents were washed away in the flood, they were able to withdraw money from their Aadhaar-linked bank account just at the touch of their finger. Rural workers can imagine their wages, benefits directly into their bank accounts and withdraw money through Aadhaar-based micro-ATM without having to travel tens of miles to a brick-and-mortar bank. Similarly, old-age widows and disabled people can receive their pensions and government benefits directly into their bank accounts and withdraw money at their doorsteps. Bhim Aadhaar Pay, which was launched by our Prime Minister last year, where the payments can be made through Aadhaar at the touch of a finger without any debit or credit card. The whole world is amazed at this. Aadhaar is being used in other areas too. Telecom companies are replacing cumbersome process of collecting paper IDs for issuing SIM cards with the Aadhaar fingerprint authentication. Aadhaar is also being used in various examinations conducted by various central and state boards of examination and public service commissions. Degrees and certificates are being linked to Aadhaar and being stored in a digital locker which would be online accessible. So no more Vyapam scam or Sanjay Dutt's Munna Bhai MBBS or Amir Khan's Rancho of Three Idiots. Aadhaar is being used to trace and unite missing children with their loved ones. Bollywood's favorite script of two brothers being lost with their loved ones and reunited 20 saal baad will no more be relevant. Salim Javed and Rajkumar Hiranis of Bollywoods may look for some other ideas for their films henceforth. Aadhaar fingerprint authentication is being used in central government and other offices to mark attendance of employees. Lakhs of ghost teachers and ghost employees are being eliminated through this exercise. Land records and property registration. Just now, Honorable Minister of IT, he informed that Andhra Pradesh has taken a lead to link land records and property registration with Aadhaar, and this is truly a very, very transformative step which Telangana government has taken the lead. Aadhaar authentication is being used to digitally sign documents and has been conferred legal status of digital signature in India. Many more such innovative uses are being planned. Presently, more than 20 million people, 2 crore people are doing authentication using their biometrics and Aadhaar every day to avail various services across the country. Aadhaar empowers every Indian with unique identification through which he can receive his entitlement in a hassle-free manner without any intermediary and middleman. Nobody can steal, fudge or manipulate his entitlement or rightful claims. If he wants to have a ration through his Aadhaar-linked ration card, then only he can get it, no one else. Come what may, no one can steal, fabricate or manipulate his identity. His document, his vote, his passport, his scholarship, his LPG gas cylinder, his property, his driver license, his pension, his share of social benefits, anything that you may name. If his entitlement is linked to Aadhaar, it becomes absolutely non-manipulative and he can receive his entitlement online in a paperless, presenceless and cashless manner. With no intermediaries around, it diminishes opportunities for corruption, and this is the real empowerment of people. Aadhaar is thus helping the government renovate the whole delivery system in our country and ensure targeted, hassle-free, direct, portable, real-time, auditable delivery of services, benefit and subsidies free of middlemen and intermediaries. Distribution of food grains through fair price shops outlets is being done through Aadhaar. More than 1.62 crore ghost and duplicate ration cards have been eliminated through Aadhaar. More than 3 crore ghost and duplicate LPG gas cylinders have been removed using Aadhaar. In past, whenever ghost and duplicates were removed, they used to re-enter in much larger number sooner than later, like monster Rakht Bij of Indian mythology, whose every drop of blood falling on the ground used to create another monster. But now with Aadhaar, re-entry of ghosts and duplicates is almost impossible. Aadhaar has been adjudged by Oxford Dictionary as Hindi Word of the Year 2017. We will look forward for the day when Farji and Benami words are deleted from Indian dictionary. A scholarship to college and school students are being directly into the Aadhaar-linked bank accounts. Any government with limited resource has constitutional duty to ensure equitable and rightful distribution of resources. Aadhaar is not only a tool for direct benefit transfer, but is an instrument of empowerment of people. It has been helpful in reducing administrative inefficiencies and almost ensuring zero leakage in the implementation of the schemes on the ground. It has resulted in great savings to public exchequer. In 2.5 years alone, Aadhaar has saved the government more than 57,000 crores. The World Bank, in its report on Digital Dividend 2016, has estimated that Aadhaar could save government $11 billion every year through reduced leakage and efficiency gains if Aadhaar is used in all benefit and welfare schemes of the central government alone. State governments can also save a similar amount. Nobel laureate for the economics, Joseph Stiglitz, said, UID is a great achievement and may offer sound protection to people in India. When you have to distribute public goods on a massive scale, like food, you need to identify who you are making the distribution to, so that the right people get it. In the US, we have a social security numbers that perform the same function. Every citizen ought to have a number through which a person is entitled to many things. Paul Romer, former chief economist World Bank, said the system in India is the most sophisticated system that I have ever seen. It is the basis for all kinds of connections, and that involve things like financial transactions. It could be good for the world if this becomes widely accepted. Even the president of the World Bank, Jim Yong Kim, hailed Aadhaar as the greatest app that we have ever seen. Undoubtedly, in the short span of 7 years, with its nationwide coverage, Aadhaar has made India leapfrog from no ID to a digital ID to its billion people. It has emerged as a powerful instrument of good governance, transparency, and empowerment of people. Aadhaar is just beginning to unfold new paradigms of development and laying a foundation for new India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pandey. May I now request the Honorable Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, and Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Mr. C.R. Chaudhary, to please share his thoughts with us.
Respected Shri KT Rama Rao ji, Honorable Minister for Commerce and Industry, IT, Municipal Administration, Urban Development, Mines and Geology, NRI Affairs, respected Shri Shailendra Joshi ji, Chief Secretary of Telangana, respected Pandey Saab, CEO, UIDAI, respected Shri Sahni ji, Secretary, Ministry of Electronic, IT, respected Shri K.V. Pansab, he is the Secretary, Ministry of Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Government of India, Madam Mishra, Additional Secretary, Government of Union Government, and all the very senior officers from different states, and especially from Telangana and other states also. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, friends from media, First of all, I would like to congratulate our two departments, Government of India, the Administrative Reform and the Department of Electronic, Information and Technology, as well as the Government of Telangana for organizing this conference, 21st National Conference on E-Governance. So they really require a lot of appreciation, especially the Government of Telangana who has supported us in organizing it. Friends, this is the time when we have to deliver the goods, when we have to see that every citizen, every Indian should be facilitated by the government wherever he needs. We can't say, kal aana, parsu aana, now that time has gone. I'm talking about the long back when I was SDM in 1978-79. उस समय लोगों को हमारे पास में कोई साधन नहीं था, हमने एक चार्ट लगा रखा था। SC सर्टिफिकेट बनाना है तो 15 दिन का समय, 15 दिन बाद कांटेक्ट करें। OBC था नहीं उस समय, ST का 15 दिन बाद में। राशन कार्ड के लिए इतना समय, आपका और कोई किसी प्रकार का सर्टिफिकेट कलेक्टेड के बाद अपन एक विंडो रखते थे और उसमें लगाया करते थे। बट नाउ द टाइम हैज चेंज्ड। Since 1997, both the departments are organizing this national conference because all states, officers from the different states should participate, learn the practices from the other states, what they are doing in the e-governance sector. You know, our Prime Minister believes in minimum government and maximum governance. Now, we have to follow and we have to go ahead in this sector. गवर्नमेंट वही अच्छी है, वही गवर्नमेंट सबसे जिसमें पारदर्शिता है, ट्रांसपेरेंसी, इसी प्रकार से उसके साथ साथ में आपका शीघ्रता, काम करने की बहुत जल्दी होनी चाहिए, काम एफिशिएंटली होना चाहिए, ट्रांसपेरेंट होना चाहिए और काम ऑनेस्टली होना चाहिए। इसी मोटिव के आधार पे, इसी उद्देश्य को लेकर के हमारे प्रधानमंत्री चल रहे हैं और इस कारण से ई गवर्नेंस सेक्टर के अंदर काफ़ी काम किया जा रहा है। यू नो, मेरी समझ में आप 3-4 साल के अंदर आपने जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया और बाकी भी सारे बिकॉज वी आर यू पीपल एंड वी ऑल आर एग्जीक्यूटिव एजेंसीज एंड वी नो what type of the schemes, good schemes are being launched, what are the new initiatives are taken by the different state government as well as by the central government. हर गवर्नमेंट, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में भी देखा मैंने, एक से एक शानदार स्कीम्स ला करके कैसे काम का डिस्पोजल जल्दी हो, लोगों को ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के तहत क्या राहत दी जा सकती है। अभी आपने देखा कि पांडे साहब ने सारा ये जो आधार है, दैट इज़ रियली, नाम ही आधार है। आधार का मतलब ये है कि जिसके ऊपर सारे कार्य टिके हुए हों, सारी आपका जो चाहे बायोमेट्रिक हो, चाहे आपका दूसरे किसी प्रकार का कंप्यूटराइजेशन का सारा कार्य हो, दैट लिंक्ड विद आधार नाउ, नॉट सीडेड विद आधार आल्सो। इस कारण से हमें ये देखना है कि लोगों को राहत, लोगों के पास में हमारी जो स्कीम्स हैं वो सही ढंग से लॉन्च हो। ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के बाद सेकंड कैटेगरी आते है ईज ऑफ लिविंग। हर आदमी कंफर्टेबल चाहता है, हर आदमी अपनी इज्जत के साथ जीना चाहता है और उसके लिए वो चाहता है कि गवर्नमेंट हमें मदद करे, गवर्नमेंट हमें हेल्पिंग हैंड के रूप में काम करे। और इसके लिए मित्रों, भारत सरकार माननीय जो डिजिटाइजेशन, डिजिटल इंडिया का जो सपना देखा गया है, क्योंकि अल्टीमेटली आप आधार भी जोड़ना चाहते हैं, आप सारे राशन कार्ड, भारत के 23 करोड़ राशन कार्ड होल्डर्स को भी आप डिजिटाइजेशन कर दिया है और उनको सारा इवन वी आर टेकिंग देम अप टू द डिजिटल पेमेंट तक करना चाह रहे हैं। देन अभी जो GSTN के तहत है, इनके लिए आपके पास में यू मस्ट हैव सम नेटवर्क, अदरवाइज देयर विल बी ए प्रॉब्लम. For that purpose, Prime Minister only doesn't believe in launching the scheme, bringing the new initiatives, but he believes in the action also. और action के तहत you will find number one, under the digital India, अभी तक 1,10,000 ग्राम पंचायतों में ऑप्टिकल फाइबर से जोड़ दिया गया है. तो ये दैट इज़ द अचीवमेंट विद इन द 3.5 years. दिस इज ऑप्टिकल फाइबर्स. इसी प्रकार से हर गांव में आपका ये जो आपका सेंटर्स स्थापित किए गए हैं, उस सेंटर्स के मार्फत हेल्प की जा रही है. 1 लाख से ज़्यादा सेंटर्स, 1 लाख पंचायतों से ज़्यादा में सेंटर स्थापित किए गए हैं. तो गवर्नमेंट इज़ डूइंग इन दैट कि किस प्रकार से, कितना बड़ा देश है. आज अमेरिका की जितनी पॉपुलेशन है USA की, उतने तो हमारे यहाँ पे इंटरनेट यूजर हैं. इक्वलेंट टू द US पॉपुलेशन वी आर हैविंग द इंटरनेट यूजर्स. जहाँ कभी सोचते नहीं थे, मोबाइल कुछ वर्षों पहले आया, मैं देखता हूँ हम लोग कभी, एक बार आई वॉज पोस्टेड इन द जालोर डिस्ट्रिक्ट, वहाँ सुबह 10 बजे हम टेलीफोन एक्सचेंज वालों को कहते थे कि कृपया टेलीफोन लगाना, हमें गवर्नमेंट में बात करनी फलाने सेक्रेटरी साहब से. यू विल वंडर, वो शाम तक 4-5 बजे तक घूमते घूमते 5-1 बजे पता लगता था साहब आज लाइनें ख़राब है साहब, यहाँ चालों से आपकी बात जयपुर नहीं हो सकती. दैट वाज द पोजीशन. आज हमारे पास में चाहे वो मालन हो, चाहे वो सर्विस करने वाला कोई हो, धोबी हो, आपका टैक्सी ड्राइवर, एवरीबडी इज हैविंग द मोबाइल. एंड मोर देन 110 crore people are using the mobile in this country. Second largest country which is using the mobile. 30% के करीब तो हमारे पास यानी ऐप वाले हैं, अच्छे स्मार्ट टेलीफोन्स हैं. तो इसलिए ये देश ने बहुत तरक्की कर रहे हैं और आगे और बढ़ना है. इसलिए डिजिटल इंडिया के तहत व्हाट आर द रिक्वायरमेंट, डिवाइसेस कौन कौन से चाहिए, उसमें भी सब तरफ गवर्नमेंट इज दैट. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी खूब काम कर रही हैं. अब इसका एक्चुअल में क्या, मैं सबसे पहले हमें भी अपना माइंड सेट, बिकॉज टुडे सारे अधिकारी बैठे हैं, यहाँ के IT मिनिस्टर महोदय विराजे हैं, हमें अपना माइंड सेट भी बदलना पड़ेगा. केवल आपका डिजिटाइजेशन हो गया, सब कुछ हो गया, लेकिन हम यदि उसमें रुचि लेके नहीं करेंगे तो फिर कोई न कोई किसी न किसी कारण से आदमी घूमता रहे, ये नहीं होना चाहिए. इसलिए अपना माइंड सेट बदलें. और इसके होने के कारण इतने लाभ हुए. मैं आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट माय ओन डिपार्टमेंट का रेफरेंस दूंगा. अभी पांडे साहब सही बता रहे थे कि हमारे देश के अंदर आफ्टर दिस इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट ऑफ 2013, 2/3 पॉपुलेशन इज बीन कवर्ड अंडर द हाईली सब्सिडाइज्ड फूड ग्रेन्स. और 2/3 पॉपुलेशन में से 75% रूरल एंड around 50% in the urban areas. And there are 23.2 crore ration cards. अब आप देखेंगे आफ्टर आधार, मतलब now almost in Telangana there are 8-9 states where all the ration cards have been seeded with the Aadhaar. कुछ स्टेट हैं जहाँ पे अभी काफ़ी कमी है, बट टोटल out of this 23 crores, 19 crore means 82% have been seeded with the Aadhaar. अब इसके आधार से जुड़ने के बाद में जो अभी इतने लाभ बता रहे थे, मैं उसमें एक और ऐड करना चाहता हूँ. हमें पता लगा डिजिटाइजेशन का फ़ायदा हुआ, डिजिटाइजेशन ऑफ राशन कार्ड एंड लिंकिंग विद द सीडिंग विद द आधार के 2.95 करोड़ राशन कार्ड जो हैं गोस्ट या डुप्लीकेट या फर्जी पाए गए, पूरे इंडिया की बता रहा हूँ. इसका मतलब है लॉट ऑफ फूड ग्रेन्स, हाईली सब्सिडाइज्ड फूड ग्रेन्स वर डाइवर्टिंग टू द अदर्स, कहीं और कहीं जा रहा था, जहाँ दोज हु वर नॉट द एक्चुअल बेनिफिशियरीज, दोज हु डिडंट डिजर्व, दे वर गेटिंग दिस राशन कार्ड. राशन 2 रुपये किलो गेहूँ जहाँ 23 रुपये किलो मिल रहा है, तो उसका मिसयूज़ हो रहा था. तो ये थैंक्स टू द आधार के साथ लिंकिंग होने के बाद में हमारा ये सिस्टम इतना अच्छा हो गया है कि जिससे भारत में टोटल मिला करके करीब 2.95 राशन कार्ड जो गोश्त थे वो बिल्कुल डिलीट कर दिए गए हैं, उनको कैंसिल कर दिया गया है। नाउ द राइट पीपल, उनकी जगह उनको ऐड किया गया है जो बिल्कुल जीनाइन है, जिनका दे आर रियली दे डिजर्व फॉर द हाईली फूड ग्रेन, हाईली सब्सिडाइज फूड ग्रेन्स। नाउ वी आर गिविंग टू देम। इट मीन्स वी आर रियली 17,000 करोड़ रुपीस पर ईयर में जो दूसरे लोग ले जा रहे थे, जो डिजर्व नहीं कर रहे थे, नाउ दैट 17,000 करोड़ का जो राशन है वो सही व्यक्तियों के हाथ में जा रहा है। तो ये है सेविंग, किस प्रकार से हम लोग सेव कर सकते हैं। अब खाली ई फाइल या बायोमेट्रिक दस्तखत करना या अंगूठे लगाने वाला टाइम नहीं आया। नाउ वी हैव टू डिलीवर द गुड्स। डिलीवरी इज मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट, डिलीवरी इन टाइम, दैट इज। और इसी कारण से अब आने वाला समय पेपरलेस जैसे है ना, हम अपने कार्यालय को पेपरलेस करने जा रहे हैं, उसका मतलब ही यही है अब वो ज़माना नहीं है फाइलें वाइलें रखने का, एवरीथिंग इज इन द कंप्यूटर और उसके आधार पे काम करना पड़ेगा। इसी प्रकार से कंज्यूमर में मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूँ कि आज की तारीख में जब ये सिस्टम नहीं था, देयर वर नो कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन, तो बहुत कम कंप्लेंट्स आती थी, कौन लिखित में भेजता था, नोबडी वाज बोदरिंग देम। नाउ एवरीबॉडी, मेरा माल ख़राब आया, मेरी ये जो वॉशिंग मशीन खरीदी थी फलानी कंपनी ने दी है और वो ख़राब है, 2 लाइन आपका इस पे करके और नेशनल कंज्यूमर हेल्पलाइन टेलीफोन कर देते हैं या मैसेज छोड़ देते हैं। एंड नाउ वी आर गेटिंग एवरी ईयर मोर देन 4 लाख कंप्लेंट, तो उनका रिड्रेशल हो रहा है, सारा काम किया जा रहा है। तो ये ऐसे ही स्मार्ट कंज्यूमर ऐप बना दिया गया है। तो हर डिपार्टमेंट, नॉट ओनली ऑफ द फूड एंड कंज्यूमर बट एवरी डिपार्टमेंट, ऑल स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स अपना अपना, जैसे कईयों ने ई मित्र बना रखा है, जैसे आपके यहाँ भी जो है तेलंगाना इज डूइंग गुड जॉब इन दिस IT सेक्टर और ई गवर्नेंस में बहुत एफिशिएंटली काम कर रहे हैं। तो इसी प्रकार सारे स्टेट्स में देखा, सभी अपना अपना काम में, चाहे वो प्रोक्योरमेंट का मामला हो, चाहे ऑनलाइन डिलीवरी हो, तो इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा काम आज की तारीख में, स्पेशली यूथ। इंडिया इज़ ए यंग, और इन बाय 2030 इंडिया विल बी द यंगेस्ट नेशन इन द वर्ल्ड। फॉर यंग जनरेशन वी हैव टू फैसिलिटेट देम, वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड फैसिलिटीज़ टू देम, अदरवाइज बहुत मुश्किल होगा। अधिकतर बच्चे कंपटीशन में बैठते हैं, यदि पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशंस के पास में वही बाबा आदम के ज़माने के फॉर्म भरो और यदि चलाओ तो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाएगा। आज यदि when I was the chairman of the Rajasthan Public Service Commission, we advertised 2,000 posts of the patwaris and 8 lakh candidates appeared in that examination. तब हमें हमारे होश उड़ गए कि 8 लाख आदमियों को, because that was the first time the junior post was given to the commission, the third grade teacher, patwaris, because of the stay under the various courts. So government has given to us and we advertised it and we recruited in a very timely. But you people will wonder how to handle the 8 lakh forms. उनके साथ में जो कौन से पोस्टल कार्ड, पोस्टल ऑर्डर्स आए, उनको अलग जमाओ, बहुत मुश्किल था। और फॉर्म में भी बच्चों को इतनी दिक्कत आती थी, सब लास्ट डे के लिए कोई कहता था 5 बजे तक आ गया तो ले लिया, कोई कहता उसका रिजेक्ट हो रहा है। बट नाउ एवरीथिंग इज ऑनलाइन। फ्रॉम दैट वी लर्न द लेसन एंड फ्रॉम दैट वी स्टार्टेड दिस ऑनलाइन सिस्टम ऑफ द फाइलिंग द एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म। सो आज इतनी सुविधा हुई कि बच्चा अपने ई मित्र के अपने गांव में बैठा रिमोट प्लेस में बैठा ई मित्रा के पास में जाएगा और वहां से अपना फॉर्म वगैरह भर देता है। किसी प्रकार की कोई कहीं जाना नहीं, कहीं आना नहीं। और फॉर्म वगैरह के पहले डॉक्यूमेंट देने की जरूरत ही नहीं, यू जस्ट अपीयर, भाई मेरी क्वालिफिकेशन है, यू अपीयर इन दैट एग्जामिनेशन, इफ यू क्वालिफाई देन वी विल रिक्वायर ओनली 1/3 और 3 times of the posts are called for the interview or other purposes. By that time we can see their documents extra. So आज की तारीख में there is a need कि कितना क्विकली एंड ट्रांसपेरेंटली हम काम कर सकते हैं। और इसी के लिए सारा ये जो आज आप लोग इकट्ठे हुए हैं, सारे जो एक दूसरे से डिस्कस भी करेंगे। एग्जीबिशन लगा इसलिए जो जितने एग्जीबिटर्स हैं अलग अलग स्टेट्स के लोग और स्पेशली तेलंगाना का खूब अच्छे ढंग से बताया गया है। तो ये एग्जीबिशन वगैरह के मार्फत भी एक दूसरे के क्या बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस आर एडोप्टेड बाय दैट स्टेट, यू कैन सी, और उसको डेलिब्रेट भी करना है। प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच है, माननीय मोदी जी की, कि देश के अंदर ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस का एनवायरनमेंट किया जाए, सो दैट वी कैन गेट मोर एंड मोर फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट। और लकीली, और हम कहेंगे इनके प्रयासों से, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जो प्रयास किए हैं उसके आधार पे आज हमारे पास में फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट एवर हाईएस्ट, जो लास्ट ईयर जो आया है, दैट इज़ द एवर हाईएस्ट इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द इंडिया। तो ये इसीलिए कि ईज ऑफ, आपने इतने हर स्टेट में, नाउ इन तेलंगाना इज एमंग द फर्स्ट 5-6 कंट्रीज, 5-6 स्टेट्स जो इसमें ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में काम कर रहे हैं। और अदर स्टेट्स स्पेशली इन द कर्नाटका, आंध्रा, महाराष्ट्र, गुजरात, ये राज्यों में बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा कार्य करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, ताकि लोगों को जगह जगह चक्कर नहीं काटने पड़े। आज की तारीख में जैसा अभी बताया, तो लैंड रिकॉर्ड, इफ द लैंड रिकॉर्ड इज नॉट प्रॉपर, a person purchase, an industrialist come and purchase some land, when he go for the construction, क्या what will happen, कि साहब दूसरा आ जाएगा, ये स्टे है साहब मेरे पास में, तो यू कांट एंटर इन दिस प्लॉट। बेचारे ने इन्वेस्ट भी कर दिया, ज़मीन के ऊपर कब्जा भी करने की कोशिश की, उस समय बता दिया खाली प्लॉट है। तो ये सारे जो डिस्प्यूट्स, लैंड डिस्प्यूट्स है, लैंड रिकॉर्ड से संबंधित है, जब डिजिटाइजेशन हो जाता है, लैंड रिकॉर्ड बाकायदा कंप्यूटराइज हो जाता है, तो काफ़ी सुविधाएं होगी। और इसीलिए आपका जितना डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट जो आ रहा है वो ज़्यादा आएगा, क्योंकि उनको यहाँ आकर के किसी को भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, आराम से लैंड परचेज करके लैंड के अंदर अपना पानी का कनेक्शन, बिजली का कनेक्शन, इसी प्रकार से जो आपका एनवायरनमेंट क्लियरेंस, ये सारे अब ऑनलाइन हो रहे हैं, किसी को कहीं जाने की जरूरत नहीं है। ये सबसे बड़ी बात है। आज ये जो ई गवर्नेंस के तहत में वन कैन गेट फ्रॉम हिज ओन, अपने यहाँ बैठा बैठा, कंप्यूटर पर बैठा बैठा ही सारा काम कर सकता है, सारी सैंक्शन लेने की कोशिश करेगा और मिल भी जाएगी। अभी बताया था कि भाई इस प्रकार से बात कर रहे थे मंत्री जी, माननीय राव साहब, रामा राव साहब, तो ये बता रहे थे हमारे यहाँ पे कितना सुधार किया गया है। तो ऐसे ही सारे स्टेट ने कर रखा है। मेरा तो आपसे एक ही आग्रह है, क्योंकि आफ्टर ऑल गवर्नमेंट की कितनी अच्छी गवर्नमेंट हो, गवर्नमेंट की भावना कितनी भी अच्छी हो, गवर्नमेंट कितनी भी अच्छी योजनाएं लाए, गवर्नमेंट चाहे कितने भी नए इनिशिएटिव्स ले, but if they are not been properly executed, if they are not been properly bring down the line, nothing will happen. तब चाहे कुछ भी हो, वो इमेज गवर्नमेंट की टार्निश भी हो, खराब ही होगी। तो मेरा, क्योंकि बिकॉज एग्जीक्यूटिव एजेंसीज हैं, सारे अधिकारी, वरिष्ठ अधिकारी बैठे हैं जिनके मार्फत अपने अपने डिपार्टमेंट का सारा काम करवाया जाता है, तो मेरा आपसे आग्रह है जो कि कृपया ई गवर्नेंस तभी सही मायने में इम्प्लीमेंट हो पाएगा। ई गवर्नेंस के तहत हम सभी कार्य करें, और लेकिन उनको समय पे डिलीवर किया जाए, इसके लिए हम लोगों को काम करना चाहिए। और इन कामों को यदि हम करते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से गवर्नमेंट की जो अच्छी पॉलिसीज़ है, कोई भी गवर्नमेंट हो, दे विल ऑलवेज, क्योंकि उनको एडमिनिस्टर करना, जनता को आगे बढ़ाना, देश, यदि किसी देश को आगे बढ़ाना है तो उसको अब वर्ल्ड में कॉम्पीट करना है, तो ये आपका इस टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ करना पड़ेगा, अन्यथा बहुत मुश्किल है। और मैं साधुवाद दूंगा हमारी सरकारों को, राज्य सरकारों को भी, और भारत सरकार के प्रधानमंत्री जी को, कि वास्तव में उनके इनिशिएटिव के आधार पे, उन्हीं के इनिशिएशन के आधार पे आज सब जगह जो उनका मूल मंत्र है, मिनिमम गवर्नमेंट और मैक्सिमम गवर्नेंस, उस पे सारे लोग अच्छा काम हो रहा है। और मैं आशा करता हूँ कि आप लोग सभी इसमें और अच्छा काम करें, और जो मकसद है, जो उद्देश्य है, वो यही है कि हम किस प्रकार से आम आदमी को राहत दे सकते। सरकार में वही सरकार, मैंने कहा ना, अच्छी है जो समय पे बिना किसी भ्रष्टाचार के और टाइम बाउंड प्रोग्राम के तहत अपने सेवाएं दें, और वह जो डिलीवरी देते हैं वही गवर्नमेंट अच्छी कहलाती है। ये तो हुआ गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में। ई गवर्नेंस जो है, इवन इन द प्राइवेट प्लेस, उनके पास में भी, उन्हीं के साथ में आजकल मिल कर के भी हम लोग चाहते हैं कि इसको और IT सेक्टर को मजबूत किया जाए, टेक्नोलॉजी को मजबूत किया जाए। ये सारी बातें गवर्नमेंट की करती रहती है। तो मेरा ज़्यादा समय नहीं लेते हुए, क्योंकि माई टाइम वाज रियली, जब मैं बोलने आया था भी मेरा टाइम जो दिया हुआ स्लॉट तो समाप्त हो चुका था। इवन देन पुनः एक बार मंत्री महोदय को, इनकी गवर्नमेंट को, हमारे दोनों विभागों को, चीफ सेक्रेटरी जी ने टाइम दिया, इनको भी, सबको आप लोग पधारे, सबको बहुत बहुत हृदय से धन्यवाद। और आशा करते हैं कि आपका ये 2 दिन का जो कॉन्फ्रेंस है, इसके बाद में कुछ और जिनके दिमाग में, बिकॉज लॉन्ग एक्सपीरियंस और हाईली एजुकेटेड बैकग्राउंड्स जो आप, इसके आधार पे कुछ और निचोड़ आएगा, और यदि कोई नई बात आए तो उसको आप ज़रूर आगे भेजिएगा, ताकि उसकी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन या उसके आधार पे कोई नई योजना या नया इनिशिएटिव लॉन्च किया जा सके। पुनः सबको धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
धन्यवाद माननीय मंत्री जी। देवियों और सज्जनों, हमारी ई गवर्नेंस, हमारी डिजिटाइजेशन किसी भी चरम सीमा तक पहुंच जाए, लेकिन किताबों से हमारा मोह कभी नहीं छूटेगा। आज भी हम लोग अपनी तमाम उपलब्धियों को, अपनी कामयाबियों को किताबों में समेटना चाहते हैं, और वही आज हमने किया भी है। हमारे यहाँ पर 4 किताबें हैं जिन्हें हम अपने माननीय मुख्य अतिथि के हाथों से, मुबारक हाथों से रिलीज करवाएंगे। आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन टू प्लीज ब्रिंग द बुक्स प्लीज। जी, और इस रस्म के लिए, रस्म इजरा विमोचन के लिए मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा हमारे आज के मुख्य अतिथि जनाब KT रामा राव जी से। हमारी पहली किताब में पिछले साल के बेहतरीन कामों के लिए अवार्ड पाने वाले प्रोजेक्ट्स को एक जगह कंपाइल किया गया है, जमा किया गया है। विशाखापट्टनम में हुई 20वीं नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस में कुल 12 कैटेगरीज में अवार्ड दिए गए थे। ये किताब उसी के बारे में है। अब हम बढ़ते हैं अपनी दूसरी किताब की तरफ। जी हाँ, दूसरी किताब में इस साल अवार्ड पाने वाले प्रोजेक्ट्स को शामिल किया गया है। इस बार पहाड़ी राज्यों और नॉर्थ ईस्ट के सूबों को मिलाकर कुल 8 कैटेगरीज में अवार्ड्स दिए जाएंगे। साथ ही एक प्रोजेक्ट को स्पेशल जूरी अवार्ड से भी नवाजा जाएगा। यह है हमारी दूसरी किताब। मौजूद हाज़रीन, अब हम बढ़ते हैं अपनी तीसरी किताब की ओर। तीसरी किताब जिसे आज रिलीज होना है, उसमें 21वीं कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए अलग अलग सब थीम्स के 19 सिलेक्टेड पेपर्स को जगह दी गई है। ये पेपर्स IT इंडस्ट्री, एकेडमिक्स एंड रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशन से जुड़े सीनियर सरकारी अफसरों की ओर से जमा किए गए थे। इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए इन पेपर्स को हमारे नॉलेज पार्टनर अर्नस्ट एंड यंग ने जमा किया है। वी मस्ट थैंक अर्नस्ट एंड यंग ऑल्सो। जी हाँ, और अब आखिरी पायदान पर हमारी चौथी किताब कॉन्फ्रेंस के पेपर्स का एक खास तरह का कलेक्शन है। ये पेपर थीम के टॉपिक्स के मुताबिक है, जिन्हें जाने माने राइटर्स और एक्सपर्ट्स ने तैयार किया है, जिन्हें हम कलमकार भी कहते हैं। हमारे इंडस्ट्री पार्टनर नेस्कॉम ने IT सेक्टर के बड़े नामों से इन पेपर्स को हासिल करके एक जगह कंपाइल किया है, एक जगह लाकर जमा किया है।
Thank you very much. Before I invite our esteemed chief guest to speak, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to now share a short film from the host state, Telangana, of its efforts at e-governance. So please watch the film.
Telangana, India's 29th state, has been progressing on the path of the Digital India vision through implementation of key e-governance initiatives under the vision of Digital Telangana. Since its inception in 2014, the government of Telangana has always put citizens' interest at the center for all its programs. The services and initiatives have always been formulated from the citizens' benefit point of view. The government of Telangana aims at providing highly transparent and accountable services to citizens through its ambitious e-governance initiatives. Such e-governance initiatives aim at improving the quality of citizen-government interactions while simultaneously minimizing the requirement of in-person interactions. The vision of Digital Telangana strives to achieve maximum governance with minimum government. Electronic Service Delivery, Department of ITE&C. ESD currently provides over 550 services of over 36 departments, serving more than 35 million citizens of Telangana through multiple service channels.
We've come out with a very unique application. We've been using it internally mostly. What we call as Integrated People Information Hub. It's called IPIH for short. In fact, we also call it a Citizen 360 in our own internal communications. It's a path-breaking platform that is open for all government departments, wherein data from a large number of diverse sources is processed and records are linked using non-primary keys. And it helps all the government departments, as I have mentioned, by mobilizing and by preventing leakages, by proper targeting of beneficiaries with respect to welfare programs, and also by aiming at certificate-less governance and real-time governments and offering valued services to citizens.
Telangana State Police Department. The police department leverages information technology to provide various services to citizens and its officers, which reduces passport verification time, ensures women's safety, and empowers every frontline police officer with smart methods of policing. Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. GHMC prides itself on successful implementation of e-office for conducting office procedures electronically. It is the first of its kind e-office with over 1,400 officers and staff members of GHMC utilizing this online facility. This innovative initiative provides information and services on property tax, trade licenses, layout regularization scheme, citizen grievances, etc. Department of Health, Medical and Family Welfare. Healthcare in the state of Telangana has also incorporated IT in their day-to-day activities like diagnostic centers, online report generation, SMS alerts, email reports and tracking of samples, while also educating the citizens on various health issues. Telangana State Civil Supplies Department. The Civil Supplies Department has introduced many initiatives for their ration card holders, farmers and citizens from all walks of life. The use of information technology helps the Civil Supplies Department effectively oversee allotment and supply of all essential commodities by the Telangana state government and save on potential leakages in the supply chain. Roads and Traffic Authority of Telangana. The mobile app RTA M-Wallet is among the most downloaded government apps in India with more than 1.5 million users. it was conceptualized and developed to facilitate easy and convenient storage of statutory documents like registration certificates, driving licenses, etc. by citizens. Digital Telangana encompasses a host of other initiatives as well, which aim at creating necessary infrastructure for digital transactions as well as digital tools and platforms for the use of citizens, empowering them with the best of government services at their fingertips. Other initiatives like Janahita, Manabhumi, e-agriculture, e-permit for mines, etc. also drive the Digital India initiative in Telangana. Telangana government is committed to its vision of Digital Telangana and facilitation of progress of all sections of society through extensive use of technology.
May I now invite the Honourable Minister for IT, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Industries and Commerce, Public Enterprises, Sugar Mines and Geology, and NRI Affairs, Government of Telangana, Mr. Kalvakuntala Taraka Rama Rao, to please share his thoughts with us.
Honorable Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Commerce and Industry, Shri C.R. Chaudhary ji, Honorable Chief Secretary of the State of Telangana, Shri Shailendra Kumar Joshi Sahab, Secretary of Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Shri Epan, Secretary of Ministry of Information and Communications Technology, Government of India, Shri Ajay Prakash Sani Sahab, CEO of UIDAI, Shri Pandey Sahab, Additional Secretary, Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances, Srimati Vasudha Mishra ji, and to the distinguished gathering, ladies and gentlemen, to my friends from the media, I welcome you all on behalf of the Government of Telangana to this 21st National E-Governance Summit. मैंने भाषण तो बहुत सुने हैं इससे पहले, स्पेशली ब्यूरोक्रेट्स के, पर आज जो भाषण हमारे पांडे साहब ने दिया, मैं बहुत प्रभावित हुआ हूँ। आधार के बारे में जो पैशनेटली उन्होंने आज भाषण दिया, पांडे साहब ने तो गजब ही कर दिया। आधार को उन्होंने आत्मा के साथ अनुसंधान भी कर दिया और साथ ही साथ थोड़ा बॉलीवुड का बिजनेस भी उन्होंने छीन लिया। जो बॉलीवुड की एक फेवरेट थीम है दो भाइयों की जुड़ जाने की और फिर मिलने की, उसका भी धंधा आपने ख़त्म कर दिया आधार के साथ। तो मैं पांडे साहब को द पैशन विथ विच ही स्पोक, आई मस्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट हिम बिकॉज आई थिंक इट्स exemplary. I think it's exemplary for a bureaucrat, for a politician who's put in more than a few decades of service to retain that passion, to speak with that passion about his subject. I think that's truly exemplary. More than the product itself, what he was trying to, of course, talk about, the passion which he exuded is what inspired me. My compliments to you, Pandey Sahab. Now, information technology, as we all know, has, we were walking through the stalls. Ajay Sani Sahab was telling me, he came to the Telangana State Technological Services stall and he was fondly reminiscing about the fact that at one point of time, he was also the managing director of the then APTS, Andhra Pradesh Technological Services. And I think in his speech, he also covered the span of last 18 years, last 20 years, in fact, and he had fondly said कि बहुत सारा distance cover किया गया, technology and how governments have started leveraging it, how governments have changed themselves and also the lives of people, and how governance itself has changed by way of information technology is something that he touched upon. Honorable Union Minister also spoke about how technology has changed, especially his department, how he was able to weed out more than 3 crore duplicitous ration cards and saved exchequer's money in a big way. Let me just quickly give you a sense of perspective on how our information technology department was perceived at one point of time and what is the change it has brought about today in my state, the state of Telangana. At one point of time, information technology department was essentially considered one of those line departments which is confined to procurement and procurement alone. अगर कोई और डिपार्टमेंट को कभी 10 या 20 कंप्यूटर की ज़रूरत पड़ती या कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर की ज़रूरत पड़ती तो they would have sent an indent to the information department, information technology department saying, please procure this for me. That was essentially the role of IT department long time back. But I think as information technology became all pervasive, as it started permeating into all spheres of life, all walks of governance, I think now the power of technology is being unleashed, and this truly is heralding a digital revolution which eventually should lead to a digital democracy. India is the world's largest democracy, as we all know. But India can only become first world country if and only when we will leverage, we will completely harness the power of information technology for the benefit of the people of India. Now, the reason why I say this is because our Chief Minister, Hon'ble Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao ji, keeps reminding us every single day. He tells us every single day that any information technology or any technology for that matter, any science for that matter, which does not have a larger societal impact, any technology which does not touch or change the life of a common man is useless and is futile. Because technology by itself cannot be smart. Technology depends on how you use it. Technology is entirely incumbent on the user and how effectively we can put it to good use in governance as well. What am I trying to say? When we started our journey about 3.5 years ago as the youngest state in India, the state of Telangana, when I assumed office as Information Technology Minister, myself and my then secretary who's sitting right in front of me, Harpreet Singh ji, we started discussing on how technology can be leveraged for the benefit of common man. One of the things we said, let's not try and boil the ocean, क्योंकि एक ही साथ सारा change, एक ही साथ सारा मतलब जो आप बदलना चाहते हो, दुनिया बदलना चाहते हो, देश बदलना चाहते हो, राज बदलना चाहते हो, हर चीज़ बदलना चाहते हो, ओवरनाइट नहीं होता, उसके लिए वक्त लगता है. तो हमने सोचा कि एक के बाद एक, let's try and identify pain points from the citizen's perspective, and let's try and bring about change in various domains within government. One of the initial things we started thinking about, one of the initial pain points we realized was in the transport department. When an ordinary citizen today, somebody who has a motorbike or a car, when they commute, when they travel on the streets of our cities, on the streets of our states, they get stopped every so often. The police department will stop them, will check for a couple of things. They'll be asked for their registration card. They'll be asked for their insurance of the vehicle, and also, of course, the driver's license. In the rat race that we all seem to be indulging in our day-to-day lives, and in the kind of busy lives we lead today, very often it so happens that you end up forgetting one of the 3 papers. और बहुत बार पेनल्टी पे करना पड़ता है, ये सब कुछ तो आपको पता ही है. तो हमने सोचा आज की ज़माने में, जैसे अभी हमारे मिनिस्टर साहब ने कहा, चौधरी साहब ने, जहाँ इंडिया में 100 करोड़ से ज़्यादा मोबाइल फ़ोन हैं, जिसमें से 40% से ज़्यादा स्मार्टफोन्स हैं, स्मार्ट टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करके हम इसका क्या कर सकते हैं, क्या फ़ायदा पहुंचा सकते हैं सिटीज़न को. तो हमने ये प्रयास किया. हमने एक छोटा सा स्टार्टअप जो हैदराबाद का था उनको बुलाया, बताया कि ये पेन पॉइंट है, आप इसका एक सोल्यूशन निकालो। तो उन्होंने एक सोल्यूशन हमें पेश किया। उन्होंने एक डिजिटल वॉलेट डेवलप किया, हमारे सामने रखा, बोला कि ये तीनों पेपर जो हैं, रजिस्ट्रेशन कार्ड, इंश्योरेंस और ड्राइवर्स लाइसेंस, इन तीनों को भी आप डिजिटल फॉर्मेट में आप वॉलेट में स्टोर कर सकते हैं। और इसको अगर पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट और ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट स्कैन करेगी और इसका वेरासिटी अगर वेरीफाई कर लेंगी, ऑथेंटिसिटी, तो आसानी से काम हो जाएगा। तो जब हमने ये प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च किया, इसको हम RTAM वॉलेट कहते हैं, रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट अथॉरिटीज़ मोबाइल वॉलेट इसको हम कहते हैं, 3 महीने के अंदर 1.3 मिलियन डाउनलोड्स। इट्स वन ऑफ द मोस्ट डाउनलोडेड प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट फ्रॉम द ऐप स्टोर। 3 महीने के अंदर केवल हैदराबाद सिटी में 1.3 मिलियन डाउनलोड्स हुए। मैं कहना ये चाह रहा हूँ कि अगर कोई टेक्नोलॉजी लोगों को पसंद आती है, उनके निजी ज़िंदगी में, निजी जीवन में, डे टू डे रूटीन में उनको अगर राहत देती है, तो एक्सेप्टेंस लेवल किस तरह हो सकती है, ये बात बताने के लिए मैं आपको RTAM वॉलेट का एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ। ऐसे ही अगर टेक्नोलॉजी को हर पेन पॉइंट जो आज हमारे इंडियन सिटीजन्स का डे टू डे लाइफ में उनको पेन पॉइंट गवर्नमेंट से डील करने में हमेशा फेस करना पड़ता है, अगर इफ़ यू आर एबल टू कम आउट विद सॉल्यूशंस, देन आई थिंक we would have achieved and we would have accomplished the true definition of e-governance. E-governance, most people call it electronic governance. In my opinion, only if you're able to make it easy, only if you're able to make it efficient, only if you're able to make effective use of technologies to provide effective governance to people. E-governance can also stand for easy governance, efficient governance, and effective governance. And only when people accept it from their perspective कि हाँ मुझे फ़ायदा होती है, फ़ायदा पहुँचती है टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से, तब जाके आपको e-governance का सही definition आपको मिलेगा। The point I'm trying to make, ladies and gentlemen, is in my state, the state of Telangana, we have focused and we have leveraged technologies very aggressively and very extensively. We have more than 4,500 what we call as Me Seva centers. Me in Telugu stands for your, आपका, आपकी सेवा में। Me Seva Center आज 4,500 centers तेलंगाना के 31 जिलों में, 31 districts में आज हैं। And I'm very proud to share with you, we have recently crossed, in the last 7 years after launching Me Seva, we have recently crossed 10 crore transactions through Me Seva. And in fact, we are the state with the highest load in terms of number of transactions we handle on a daily basis. We handle nearly 1.5 lakh transactions on a day-to-day basis. This makes us the state with the maximum number of transactions, especially on the G2C and C2G, government to citizen and the citizen to government interface. Now, in fact, we are launching the 2.0 version of Me Seva, of which, of course, e-governance and mobile governance also will be an integral part. Mobile governance because, as was pointed out by the Hon'ble Minister, Mr. CR Chaudhary, we are a country which is literally leapfrogged from having no phone, no landline connection, to now having more than 100 crore mobile phones in the hands of common man. If we are able to leverage smart technologies, and if we are able to give the solution to the people of our country by way of leveraging the powerful weapon in their hands, the mobile, we can certainly ensure the true objective of M-governance can also be achieved. In fact, tomorrow we will be launching, we'll be the second state in India to be launching the T-App Folio, a comprehensive Play Store, App Store of all of our government services, initially with about 180 services all bundled together into one app folio. Now let me also tell you about few other initiatives, a few other practical applications of what we've been able to do leveraging technologies in the state of Telangana. We are possibly one of the few states in India which has taken demonetization and the aftermath of demonetization in extremely positive light. Our Chief Minister, in fact, has guided us, has asked the IT department of Telangana to come out with a digital wallet, a digital payment solution for the people of Telangana, so that whenever they have to deal with each other or with the government or with any private merchant as well, they should be able to leverage this digital wallet. We call it the T-wallet. And this T-wallet, again, has been a huge success, and we've had people download this more than 250,000 times, and it is being used extensively, not only by the people in urban areas, but also by several people in the rural areas as well. T-wallet will also be an effective and an integral part of our Me Seva 2.0 or e-governance 2.0 initiative. Let me also share with you a couple of other areas where I believe e-governance has been able to achieve exemplary results in government of Telangana. In our Industries and Commerce department, where typically it used to take several months to give a clearance for anybody who wanted to start an industry or a factory in the state of Telangana, after we have passed our new industrial policy called the TSI Pass in June 2015, we brought out some truly remarkable reforms. Our TSI Pass, the industrial policy which we have legislated, which we have brought out in the form of an act, has three salient features. Let me just quickly take a minute to explain what it is all about. TSI Pass gives a very unique privilege to an investor. If any investor who wants to start or launch his or her own operation in the state of Telangana, they do not need to speak to the government at all. They do not need to seek a clearance from the government. They can self-certify themselves as being in compliance with the law of the land and start construction of their factory or of their unit on day one without even seeking a clearance from the government. No state in India will tell you this. But only for regulatory purposes, we seek that they submit an application online to us, because we need to understand, we need to know who's doing business in our state. When we receive that application online, we take only 15 days to process it and to give all clearances through a single window system. Now, for those of you who are wondering, we've heard this before, time-bound responses, single window systems. We've heard it from many states. How is Telangana any different? Telangana is truly different and truly remarkable, because if we do not deliver on the 15-day promise, on the 16th day, it's a deemed approval. It's an approval by default. And this is by statute. No other state in India will tell you this. And also, on the 16th day, in fact, we as a government, even the senior-most bureaucrats in the government, are liable for penal action, for a penalty of rupees 1,000 per day if they are held responsible for the delay. Now, this is e-governance. In fact, for those of you who are wondering, does this work, or is this all just good talk on a piece of paper? Let me assure you, let me tell you, in the last 2 years, we've given more than 6,000 clearances. We've been able to attract more than 1,20,000 crores of investment, and we've been able to create more than 300,000 jobs in the state of Telangana in the private sector directly. Now, this is e-governance in the Industries department, and this is what has truly put us on the #1 spot in India on the Ease of Doing Business Index, as ranked by World Bank and DIPP in 2016. Let me also tell you another example of effective e-governance in the state of Telangana. Drawing inspiration from TSI Pass, we said, in my other department, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, we said, why can't we implement the same logic, same philosophy when it comes to giving building permissions in municipal administration? So now, we have instituted on the 2nd of June 2017, what is called as DPMS, Development Permission Management System, in Urban Development Department in Government of Telangana. Across the 73 urban local bodies, today, we do not accept any offline applications with respect to building permissions. Every application has to be submitted online, has to be approved online also. We give our town planners 3 weeks to approve the building permission. If they have to reject it, they have to reject it in the first week. If there is any shortfall, if there is any deficiency in terms of submission of the application, the application has to be rejected in the first week. And the building permission has to be approved within 21 days. If it is not approved in 21 days, on the 22nd day, it is a deemed approval, just as in case of the TS-IPAS, the industrial approval system. Now, this is effective governance to ensure that the people do not have to be subjected to individual discretion or are not subject to making rounds of government offices and wasting theirs and also the precious time of our government servants and of our government officers also. Not only in these two areas, in fact, in several walks of life, we have ensured and we have leveraged technology extensively. As was pointed out by Hon'ble Minister, even in our public distribution system in the state of Telangana, we've been able to save at least a few hundred crores. And Mr. C.V. Anand, who heads that department, the secretary of the department, is right here. I'm sure he'll be talking to you a bit more about how technology has helped us save in our public distribution system as well. In our education system, we currently have more than 3,000 schools enabled by what is called as TS class, the digital classrooms. Today we beam high quality digital content to all the government schools in Telangana so that the children who come to our government schools get the best of lectures and they get the best of education material, high quality education material through this TS class system. We also leverage satellite technology to beam to each and every house high quality training material for those students, for those applicants who are appearing for job interviews as well. We call this TSAT. Through satellite technologies, we beam directly into each and every home of the 10 million homes in the state of Telangana and provide high quality digital content for those who are preparing for competitive examinations so that they don't have to spend money on private tuitions or private classes. We also have leveraged technology. You know, the new technologies, emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning. We screen in Telangana the eyes of our primary school students. In association, in partnership with Microsoft, we've launched this extremely unique initiative of leveraging artificial intelligence to ensure preventable blindness among young children can be taken care of. We have started screening and we are very delighted with the results so far and going forward as well. In fact, this is going to be a huge priority for the government of Telangana. As was mentioned by Sri Pandiji, land records in Telangana after 86 years have been purified, have been updated. We have ensured that the entire revenue administration in a mission mode in about 60 days has cleansed our land records, and we are now linking it to Aadhaar so that all binamis can be pulled out and ensure, and as a state, we also will ensure that no binami transactions will happen in the state of Telangana. Let me also tell you about our effort to help our farming community, our farmers, by way of leveraging technology. Technology such as artificial intelligence can be put to effective usage, can be made accessible to farmers, producers, organization to ensure that any pest that might affect their crop can be given a solution with a mere press of a button. All they have to do is take a picture, send it to a specific phone number, and we can send them back with a combination of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. We can give them an answer on what the pest could be and what the solution could be. Now, this is truly effective governance, truly e-governance, so that the common man, the citizen, is completely benefiting from the technologies that we speak so highly about. One another initiative of the government of Telangana, which I'm extremely pleased with. Honorable IT Secretary Sri Ajay Sani spoke about BharatNet, Government of India's ambitious effort to reach every village panchayat, to give a broadband internet connection to each and every village panchayat. Now, Government of Telangana has gone a step further, in fact, a few steps further. We launched what is called as T-Fiber. In fact, let me just give you a little bit of background of this project. Telangana is the first state in the country which started thinking about providing portable drinking water connection to each and every one of our 10 million homes. We embarked on a very ambitious program called the Telangana Drinking Water Grid. We also call it Mission Bhagirath, with $8 billion or nearly 53,000 crores of rupees. Every single house, no matter where it is, shall be connected with drinking water, a portable drinking water connection. When we conceived this project about 3 years ago, we realized that we will have to trench the entire landscape of Telangana. Nearly 150,000 kilometers of new pipeline had to be laid. And when we realized that we had to trench the entire landscape, we asked ourselves, what else could we combine in the same trench? One of the things, of course, was communication cable. The other two things that could have potentially been combined, pipe gas, electricity as well. Unfortunately, due to technical constraints, we could not combine pipe gas and electricity cable, but we decided to combine both drinking water pipelines and communication cables. So Telangana, in the next 6 months, will not only be the first state in India to be giving a portable drinking water connection to each and every one of its homes, but we will also be the first state in India to be giving a 15 Mbps broadband connection to each and every one of our homes. And the institutions in a village panchayat, school, Anganwadi, or the primary healthcare center in the village, all of them will be empowered with a 1 gigabit connection at a very, very high speed. Now, we recently set up, during the World Congress IT, which happened last week here, a technology demonstration network as well, which gave the experience of what it is going to be the future in the state of Telangana. Now, imagine the power it can unleash. Imagine once you have each and every home wired with 15 Mbps connection, e-learning, education, how it can totally transform the way we leverage our teachers, our best faculty, our best doctors, e-health, e-commerce, and several other opportunities that can come out of it, and e-governance mostly. The day is not far. In fact, let me just close out by saying one thing. We talked about, Hon'ble Minister talked about minimum government and maximum governance. What does it mean? Does it mean we cut down on the number of secretaries, additional secretaries, or joint secretaries? What does minimum government and maximum governance mean? I think what it essentially means is, just to give you a personal example of mine. I've lived in the United States. I went to school. I went to business school in the United States. I've also lived there for 8 years. I only, as a citizen who was living there, as a resident, as an immigrant living there, had to visit a government office in the United States in my 8 long years of stay only once. That was to get my driver's license to the DMV office. Other than that, I've never had to interact with a government official. I think that is truly maximum governance and minimum government. Now, how can we achieve that? How do we get there? How do we get there? It's fairly simple. As long as we are able to, or we are wanting to, delegate powers, decentralize ourselves, and give people the power. I talked about T-Fiber. Once you have each and every home wired, once each and every one of your dumb television sets in your drawing rooms across the state of Telangana can be converted into a smart PC, a smart personal computer. Once it is connected to 15 Mbps, it can be used as a gateway, a two-way gateway, for the citizen to talk to the government, for the government to talk to the citizen as well, directly into their homes. I think then you can minimize government and maximize governance. Let me also share with you one more thought. Governance, as we said, maximum governance, is not about having a bureaucrat or a police officer or a government official every so often, for every so many kilometers. It's about ensuring the minimum infrastructure needs of the citizens are met with great deal of alacrity, and also ensuring that governance is felt and not seen everywhere. Governance is something that should be felt by the citizens. It should not be seen or heard. It should be unobtrusive. Only when we are able to achieve that. Only when, using technologies, we are able to create a situation where institutions and institutional change is going to outclass individual discretion and individuals. Only when we build processes leveraging technologies which can outlast persons and individuals. Only then when we leverage technologies to bring about the maximum governance which can impact our citizens in the most efficient and in the most effective way, then I think we can claim to have achieved nirvana in the e-governance. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I wish you good luck for deliberations over the next 2 days.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we're really running short of time, but we'd like to now present special mementos to each of our guests on the dais, and I request the Chief Secretary of Telangana Government to please present each of our distinguished guests with a specially crafted memento. We begin with the Honorable Minister, Mr. Chaudhary. To the Honorable Minister from Telangana, Mr. KT Rama Rao. To Mr. Eapen. To Mr. Ajay Bhushan Pandey. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, sir. And we have one for Mrs. Vasudha Mishra as well. Thank you very much. May I request Mr. Buril to please come up?
Can we have a big hand for Mr. Puri, please? देवियों और सज्जनों, अब जिस शख्सियत को मैं आप सभी का आभार प्रकट करने के लिए यहाँ पर बुला रहा हूँ, इससे पहले कि वो यहाँ पर आएँ, हम उनका आभार व्यक्त करना चाहते हैं क्योंकि दिल्ली में मेरा और रिन्नी का उन्होंने इतना ज्ञान बढ़ाया कि ये कॉन्फ्रेंस किस तरह से आयोजित की जाती है, इस कॉन्फ्रेंस की अहमियत क्या है। और जब हम यहाँ पर पहुँचे तो हमें शालिनी मैम जैसी एक ऐसी शख्सियत मिली जिन्होंने इस पूरे प्रोग्राम को कामयाब बनाने में किसी शिद्दत की कमी नहीं रखी, हमें पूरी तरह समझाया गया। इसीलिए हम पूरे फ्लो के साथ, पूरे इत्मीनान के साथ आपसे बातचीत कर रहे हैं। इसलिए अब आप तमाम लोगों का, मौजूद हाजरीन नाजरीन का और मंच पर विराजमान इन गणमान्य अतिथियों का आभार व्यक्त करने के लिए मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म्स एंड पब्लिक ग्रीवेंसेस की एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी श्रीमती वसुधा मिश्रा जी।
Dignitaries on the dais, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks for this inaugural session of the 21st National Conference on E-Governance being held in Hyderabad. I thank the President of the function, Honorable Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, and Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Shri C.R. Chaudhary, for gracing us with his presence, presiding over the function, and giving his valuable message and exceeding on the subject of the conference and exceeding the expectations of the citizens by all government grievances, and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, the chief guest of today's function, Honorable Minister of Information Technology, Municipal Administration and Urban Development, Industries and Commerce, Mines and Geology, Public Enterprises and NRI Affairs of the Government of Telangana, Shri KT Rama Rao, for inaugurating the exhibition and finding time for us from out of his busy schedule. We are inspired by your message, sir, and the pragmatic approach you've advised us all for nation building. In fact, sir, we thank you for touching upon every sub-theme of the conference in your address. I thank Shri Shailendra Kumar Joshi, the Chief Secretary of Telangana, for his address, as well as his overall guidance and leadership in organizing this two-day conference. I would like to thank the CEO of UIDAI and Chairman GSTN, Shri Ajay Bhushan Pandey, for his illuminating and extremely interesting keynote address. I thank Secretaries to Government of India, Shri Ajay Prakash Sahani from Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, and Shri K.V. Eapen from our Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances for their tone-setting addresses and their support and guidance on the theme and sub-themes of the conference, and panelists and resources for the panels. I thank my dear friend Shalini Mishra, Principal Secretary, GPMAR Department of Government of Telangana, and her entire team for tireless efforts in organizing the conference and for ensuring that all of us get ample learning on e-governance as well as the rich culture and heritage of Telangana. I thank all the distinguished panelists who have agreed to come here in spite of their busy calendars on one call from us. I thank all awardees and delegates from all over the country whose presence is adding value to the conference. I would like to thank the members of the screening committee and the jury for the national awards who assisted us with the onerous task of selecting the finalists and winners among many able contenders. I thank all departments and agencies who have put up a beautiful exhibition. I thank our industry partner NASSCOM who helped us source and curate the state-of-art knowledge papers of the conference. Similarly, I thank all contributors to the knowledge papers as well as the compendium for writing the thought-provoking papers on the theme and sub-themes of the conference. I thank our knowledge partners Ernst & Young for their contribution throughout the preparation of this conference, and also my colleagues in DARPG for their hard work. Last but not the least, I wish to thank the representatives of the electronic and print media who are covering the event and thus contributing to citizen awareness on this important topic. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of the inaugural session. We will now be taking a break for tea for just 10 minutes. Tea is arranged for you in hall number 4, which is the adjoining space on my left. You'll have to use the exit doors at the rear to move to the hall number 4. Please be back here in 10 minutes. We will be starting our session on time. We're running late. We thank all our guests on the dais, our esteemed ministers and other senior dignitaries who have graced the occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to return back to the hall in 10 minutes so that we can start our sessions on time. May I